desk, but the hour's getting late, and last night I got back so late I wasn't able to read, so I thought I'd just read tonight from 2 Timothy chapter 3. We're reading from what's called the Greek Interlinear Bible. I don't have my Greek Bible with me, but I do have a digital version using my wife's phone. As you can see, it's a Greek on the top of the transliteration, word, pronunciation, and then an interpretation of that word into English. You take several interpreted words, you put them in a phrase or a sentence, you have no longer an interpretation, but a translation. So we're looking at various interpretations tonight, word by word, and then we will look at some various translations to best understand it. So let's pick up with 2 Timothy. Hey Desi, good to see you. Chapter 3, verse 1. Tuto de gnoske. Now gnoske is where we get for gnostic or knowledge. And this particular context, it's a form of knowledge where it's past tense. So you say the word known, we might say the word realize. So basically saying, this however, realize that in the last eschateros, that's where we get the word eschatology from, the study of last things. So eschateros is the word last, and emeros is the word for days. So this, however, realize that in the last days we will be present, and so the word present here is enis santai, which is a physical presence, not just like a spiritual presence. So it says we will be physically present, and these times will be difficult. Kairo times, meaning they're God times, but like Chronos times is like linear time. Kairo is a spiritual time or God time, sometimes referred to, and these will be chalpoi, difficult spiritual times. Verse 2. Esante, gar, poi, anthropoi, philotoi. So during these end times, it says that there will be lovers, that people or men will love themselves. So philios is the brotherly love, but atoi means self-love. So people will be basically hung up on themselves, lovers of themselves. Lovers of philia gyrioi, which is the word for money. Then there also will be alazones, which means boastful. There will be hyperphonoi, which is like a word for proud or arrogant. Blasphemoi, which is the term for swearing or abusive. Gnoisoi, that means that there will be basically abusive to parents. Apathes, which is disobedient or disrespectful. Akeristoi, which is ungrateful. And actually the word charis is the word for thanks or filled with the Spirit. So this is ungrateful, like you don't give thanks, but even more so, you're not filled with the Spirit. Anastoi, which is the word for unholy. Astergoi, which is for unloving. Espandoi, which is implacable. Diaboloi, which is the word slanderous, is where we get diabolical, actually where we get diabolos, which is the word for Satan. So basically it says like some people will be acting like Satan, basically the opposite of God, without akrates, which means without self-control, and they will actually act like anameroi, which is like savages, and they'll have no phila gathoi, which is another form of love, but they will have no love of good things. So all these things, let's read the first 3 verses in the NIV. It says, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days. People will be lovers of themselves, lovers of money. They'll be boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful and unholy, without love. They'll be unforgiving. They'll be slanderous. They'll be without self-control. They'll be brutal, and they'll not be lovers of good. They'll be treacherous, rash, conceited, and lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness, but denying its dynamite, which is the word for power. And and this is Paul's advice to Timothy is to have nothing to do with such people. In other words, don't get caught up. It's not like an evangelist would go hang out with a bunch of people doing terrible things. You should still witness to them, but don't have anything to do with them socially. Don't interact with them in these certain behaviors where they're acting basically treacherous. Verse 6. Verse 6 goes on to say, Ex Tetoin Gar Isen Hoi Endiantos, which is out of this sort for those who are entering into the household and taking captive weak women. Oh, he's actually accusing some of them of taking and abusing women, burdened with hamartias, and they are egonomai, that means being led away by passions, epithymias, various passions, pokalois, epithymus. So he's basically saying, hey, verse 6, they are kind who worm their ways into homes and gain control over gullible women who are loaded down with sins and are swayed by all kinds of evil desires. Verse 7, they're always learning but never able to come to the knowledge of the truth. And just as James and John opposed Moses, Jannes and Yambre opposed Moses, so also these teachers oppose the truth. They are men of depraved minds, who as far as the faith is concerned are rejected. But they will not get very far, because in the case of those men, their folly will be clear to everyone. So as we're reading this in the Greek, we learned a few things where it's the Yambres, Anatisin opposed Moses, and so also these Anatisi opposed the truth, Elatheus, that's the word for truth. Anthropoi, men, being depraved, Ketapharmenoi, Tan, Nun, Etakomenoi, Peritin, and Piston. So basically, they're depraved in their mind, they're disqualified regarding their faith, but they will not advance any further, much the folly of them will be plain, and will be este, pasen, hos kai he, ekonoin, ageneto. So again, because this, they will become like verse 9. They will not get very far, because as in the case of these men, their folly will be clear to everyone. So that's our reading tonight from 2 Timothy chapter 3. Thanks for joining us, Desi and Nancy and Arthur and others. We're going to close tonight with the prayer that Jesus taught us to pray. Our Father, who art in heaven, holy be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from the evil one. Thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen and amen. People said, is Deb there? Yes, she is. She's driving there. She is. Desi.
Have a good night.
Have a great night. Whoops. And we will see you again tomorrow.